And let's get to our morning business report. There's a heads up here for parents this morning. Your kids might be behind some surprise charges on your credit card bill.
I need to go looking, okay? And we're getting your first look at how Americans plan to celebrate Thanksgiving this year. Already time to start talking about that. Channel 3's Jane King is live at the New York Stock Exchange with those stories and more. Good morning, Jane.
Hi, Tracy and Caitlin. Good morning. Well, you know, nearly 1 in 3 parents have discovered their child has made an online purchase without their permission, with kids' most expensive unapproved shopping sprees costing families about $170 on average. So this is commissioned by the digital personal finance company Achieve and conducted by Talker Research. And they found, despite the financial risks, many parents are not closely monitoring their children's spending. 23% of parents rarely or never check their children's debit or credit card activity. Well, the Federal Trade Commission is probing Ticketmaster over whether it's done enough to keep bots from illegally reselling tickets on its platform. The investigation focused on Ticketmaster's compliance with the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, or the BOTS Act, which bans the use of bots to circumvent per-person ticket limits for popular events. Live Nation could be on the hook for potential penalties of $53,000 per violation. And Butterball took a look at trends for Thanksgiving this year. It found 89% of consumers do plan to celebrate. Hosts expect an average of 9 attendees. It's about double pre-pandemic. 28% expect inflation to change their plans this year. That's down from last year. And 84% of hosts say they will serve a whole roasted turkey. Okay, stocks rose yesterday after President Trump said the U.S.-China trade negotiations were going well. Investors also bracing for that Fed meeting, which gets underway today. So ahead of that, the markets are positive. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.